This is me talking over my life.
Nothing that has to do with her journey and like her perception of the trip. Just something happened with me and just like learning information and just getting confirmation again, like how my life, and I'm just going through a really big transformation in my body, my health, my life, and who I am. And this trip has made me realize how I have.
I'm Zania, and I'm literally going to be talking about my journey and how I have been overcoming so much stuff in my life.
I be sliding on these tight beats,
Okay, so I want to start this video off by saying like, comment, and subscribe if this is your first time seeing me, or if you have seen me before. I look at my analytics almost every single week and I see that half of you guys are not subscribed to me, but you're watching. Please, please, please subscribe. I want to hit 1K before my birthday. With that being said, let's get into it. So obviously, this is going to be my testimony. If you guys could go back a couple of videos before in 2021, my whole page was about healing because I was going through so much. And then once coming into last year, 2022, that's when my videos started to go from story time, prank videos, vlogs, and everything just started to switch up from my healing content to now like doing every single content. And I really just want to zone in and do this kind of video because that's just something that's been very, dear in my heart. So I just want to talk about how I've been able to overcome so many things that happen in my life and just talk about my story and my testimony and why I keep going every day. I know that there's a lot of creatives or just simply people wanting to live life or not knowing where to start and why, not having motivation to keep on going every day. And I just want to be that kind of person to sit here and say, I'm going through it too. I hear you, you're heard, but we got to keep going. So I'm going to do like a full recap of the last 20 years of my life before I could literally get into everything. So we're going to start in childhood. How I could describe my childhood is literally dysfunction. Every person, or if you're watching me, you definitely didn't have a dad. Okay, that should not be funny, but it's the truth though. If some of you guys have dads, I'm just playing with you. But growing up, all I could say is my childhood was very dysfunctional. I am a survivor of abuse, and if you guys did not know that, now you do. I was abused as a child by my father, and it does not affect me anymore as it would if I was younger, because now I don't view myself as a victim but as a survivor, if that makes any sense. Because it happened in the past and I'm learning how to forgive. And then we move into the relationship I had with my own mother. I was closer to my mother and her side of the family than I was with my dad, and I grew up with nothing but women. I have all sisters, I have all 14 aunties plus my mom's 4 best friends that I grew up with, and then they had sons and daughters, and I just grew up with basically the majority of people I grew up with was women. And the relationships that I've seen with women and even with my own mother, and how I could describe them has been just dysfunctional. And I think that dysfunction kind of like moves how I am today and how I move today. You know what I mean? And dysfunction isn't a bad thing. It's a way how you would say that girl, she's thick or she's fat or something to describe something. And it doesn't have to be bad because there was love, there was good times in my childhood, but there was a lot of dysfunction. So then going into middle school, I kind of was bullied, and I was also a bully myself. I was trying to figure out who I was mentally, spiritually, and I got into a lot of stuff, and I did a lot of stuff that I still to this day am dealing with today. And if you guys want an entire video on it, I will do an entire video. But then in my middle school years, me and my family, we were homeless. And once we were homeless. That happened for about 4 to 5 years. I'm just literally trying to do a big recap of my entire life, but I was homeless for about 4 to 5 years. And during that homelessness, a lot of stuff and dysfunction was even happening that I'm still trying to unpack even today and trying to heal from. So then now we're going into my 17 to 20-year-old ages of everything that I was going through and where my testimony really begins, because yes, my childhood and teenage years matter, but this is where like I really started to zone in understanding myself spiritually, mentally, and just been through so many testimonies and things that have just put me through so much but has taught me so much, where I'm 20 years old right now, but I'm literally have the mind of a 30-year-old because of how much stuff I've been through, you know, like just wise, if that makes sense. So then now we're going to 17 to 20. First off, we're going to be talking about the hypersexuality and all of that kind of stuff, and just learning about my sexuality. That's a whole different story. You could go back to my what happened in 2020 videos, and you will literally get the hypersexual recap of everything that I went through when I was 17. But just to recap, there was a lot. I'm gonna be springing a lot on you guys, so just be ready. In 2020, when the pandemic hit, I was sexually assaulted twice, and then after that I lost my virginity to people who, I'm so sorry, I'm like so awkward, people who were older than me when I was 17. And then I went into a really bad manic episode, and during that manic episode all those things happened to me. And then lockdown started to get super duper serious, and something else happened to us, my entire family, and I was trying to work through those emotions, and then I cut myself off, and those were the moments when I tried to kill myself. And I'm sorry I keep saying and, but I was going through so much emotionally that I could get into, but that would be like an entire video for itself. I just want to give you guys a recap of what I've been through. But after that of 2020, of me going through all that chaos and trying to figure out who I am, I started to kind of uncover spirituality, like crystals and manifesting, and I started to act like I was manifesting and using crystals, but I didn't really know how to use any of them because I had no knowledge on it. I was just kind of following a TikTok trend. So then 2021 hit. And once 2021 hit, that's when I got into a 6-month long, and you could go watch another video of my abusive narcissistic ex that I have. Hopefully I can link it in the bio. But then I went through that for 6 months, where I was at the lowest of the lowest that I have ever been at, mentally, spiritually. And this person just brought me to the lowest point of my life. It was a toxic narcissistic situation, and after that, you would think that would break somebody, but I did not break. I actually brought me to this point where it was like, I'm going to become a better person because of this. So then I started to go back to school. I got my GED. I started to do all of these things for myself. After I got my GED, now we're going into 2023. Last year, I went back to college. Well, I didn't go back to college. I graduated, and then I went to college, and then I learned how to drive, and so many good things were happening to me. And then another like depression episode happened last summer, where I was cutting off a lot of people, and I was trying to figure out who I was and who I wanted around me, and who, you know, like what I wanted or who I wanted to be. That's when I started to rediscover that part of myself. And then I was just trying to figure out what that part of myself was. I had multiple partners in between that time, because mind you, for an entire year I cut myself off to relationships and love and sexual activities. And then I was like, you know, like, let me just find somebody. And then I stuck with one person from literally October to recently once I started to cut them off. And I started to just go more harder on my YouTube, my music, and people are loving it. I'm meeting more people. I'm meeting like amazing people who are believing in me, who are seeing what I have to give to this world. And now I'm starting to see what I have to give to this world by doing my music, doing my creativity, and I'm just doing so much positive, but so much negative is still happening around me where I'm just like, what is going on? I'm doing so good, but so much bad stuff keep happening. Like, what am I doing? And then we're going into this year, 2023, where I'm literally just dealing with one person on and off, still not talking to them. Go see my last video on why I have not been, why I haven't been making videos. But then I was dealing with this person, and then I was being told all of these things from this person. And then on top of that, I was having troubles at work. And then on top of that, this person gave me something. And then on top of that, I got another call that this person gave me something that was uncurable, that a lot of people have, but it's still so like, why does so much bad stuff keep happening to me, if that makes sense, right? And hopefully you guys don't think I'm rambling, but that was a preview of my life and why I want to make this video on why it's not okay to give up, and just a reminder to myself and to everybody else on why you shouldn't. I was like moved by Keith Lee. If you guys don't know who Keith Lee is, let me show you. This is Keith Lee and his family. Hopefully you guys can see that, but if you can't, please go look. And I look at him and I'm just like, his testimony of where he has came from and what he went through his life, and I just see that and I'm just like, if I stop now, if I allow being abused, being lied to, being brought to like the worst points of my life in 2021, being sexually assaulted, or if I allowed my recent diagnosis. But if I would have let any of these things stop me, or where my mind was going, or what I'm doing now, you know what I mean? Because there's so much stuff. If I would let that stop me now, I would literally be giving up on myself, and I cannot allow that to happen. And this goes for anybody that needs to hear this right now. Please, and this goes for me too, don't give up. Because I know, and by Keith Lee, me watching his story of him literally going through all this stuff, is that if you give up on yourself now, you won't even know the blessings that you have coming to you. And these things are just put into your life to know this is your testimony, you know what I mean? And how strong you are. And even though, damn, like I don't want to be strong no more, like I just want to give up, you have to keep going. And that's why I'm saying this is my testimony, because even though I went through all of these things, I'm still going to keep going, and I'm not going to allow these things to ever in my life stop me. Yeah, I just feel like as a person I am, I would be giving up on myself and literally doing myself the worst if I gave up now. After all I've been through, I need to leave with something. I need to leave with something. And with that being said, I love you guys, and I will see you guys later. Bye.